Hey guys, so we're asking the question today why Europeans explored. And to answer that, we need to understand the old world to know why. Okay, so let's start with understanding what the old world is. The old world, whenever somebody says the old world, they're going to refer to these four places: the Middle East, Asia, Africa, and Europe. So there's an interaction between these places that has been going on for thousands of years. But during the Middle Ages and during the Three Worlds Meet, the unit that we're looking at, some things happen to that interaction that causes Europeans to start exploring. One of those things is going to be we need to take a look at trade routes. Okay. So one of the things that happens is many people, and you should already know this, they want to get to India because India has trees for spices, they have pepper, they have a way to make food less boring. Okay? And people want to get there. But as there's interaction between the old world here in the Middle East, there's an empire called the Ottoman Empire. And they've essentially set up stop signs to everybody but their friends and essentially closed Europeans in. One of the reasons for this is what we're going to talk about. And you should have learned a little bit about the Ottoman Empire when we did civilization, but let's start talking about it. There's this idea of castle politics. So, castle politics is during the Middle Ages, in order to have safety from each other, nations around the world started to build castles where they would gather resources and keep those resources for themselves, but also away from each other. Essentially, nations around Europe started to box each other out as well as box each other in. So there was little interaction. This also happened in Africa and Asia as well. But there was little interaction going on with somebody that was not your immediate neighbor. And so one of the things that happened with this is you're limited to the resources that are next to you, or limited to the resources that you could immediately trade with your neighbor. This is where we get to Western Europe. Western Europe had been blocked in by the Ottoman Empire, by the Atlantic Ocean, by a variety of factors, and they needed resources very badly. So they had only one choice to start looking to, and being blocked in by the Atlantic Ocean wasn't necessarily being blocked in because ships had become a technological achievement. So, whereas the Atlantic Ocean used to keep them kind of where they were at, ships during the mid 1400s had gotten to the point where they could voyage across oceans. So, Western Europe, including Spain, France, Portugal, some of the Italian nations, they are going to start to look westward. Okay, as they look westward, some of the places that they're originally going to go to is going to be near Africa. Okay, they're going to start engaging with some of the African kingdoms on the west coast of Africa. They're also going to send ships, just like Columbus, across the Atlantic. This offers a great opportunity for these castle politic nations that are thinking of bringing resources back into their box. Okay. And what they see in America is represented by the three G's. And the three G's equal something, but let's talk about what the three G's are. So, you probably already know this. I hope you do. But the three G's are going to be, let's just start with gold, God, and to the Europeans it was a Christian God, and glory. This is exactly what European nations during this time were really excited about because the three G's, yeah, it meant a lot of money. It meant wealth brought back to their nation, their box, but it also meant security. Security in the form of if you have gold, you can pay soldiers. They can protect your nation. If everybody's the same religion in your community, that's a good thing because there's going to be less conflict. And glory, because if you're the best, you know you're the best, and you can keep yourself the best. Okay? Let's move on to how this is going to evolve from just the three G's into something that the three G's are going to become. And that's going to be called mercantilism. Mercantilism is going to be expanded trade networks. No longer are you just focused on God, gold, and glory, but you're going to be focused on anything else that can be used to increase your security. Okay? So as these ships get better, so too do the trade routes. Again, that's what we're going to be focusing on. But the trade routes are going to help these European nations become mercantilist nations. So we can pull apart the word. What does mercantilist mean? Well, you've probably heard the word merchant. And merchant just means sell. We might have merchandise, which is a product that is sold. So essentially, European nations during this time are figuring out new and innovative ways to set up shop in other places around the world. It's eventually going to get to the old world sense of mercantilism equals trade routes equals plus trade. It's going to compile into the three G's and it's going to mean security in this castle politics type of life. Okay. Let me know if you have any questions. I hope that this helps explain mercantilism a little bit better. We're going to play the game, and hopefully the game helps even more so.